When you think of Sweden, what comes to mind? Sensible cars, minimalist furniture, you have to build yourself the musical genius of ABBA. Peaceful neutrality, stunning forests, very, very cold winters. You probably don't think of military superpowers, do you? It's not the first name that pops into your head when you list countries that build cutting-edge, world-beating fighter jets. And yet, that's exactly what they've done. From this land of calm, sensible thinking has emerged one of the most brilliant and agile fighter jets the world has ever seen. It's a proper David in a world of Goliaths. Sweden has been quietly building its own fantastic aircraft for decades. The Saab Gripen, Griffin in English, is their masterpiece. Decades of clever engineering and a unique worldview. Not brute force or eye-watering expense. Smart, adaptable, and incredibly efficient. The Swiss Army knife of the skies. Welcome to the incredible story of the Gripen, a small nation protecting its independence by building its own future. This isn't just a machine, it's a philosophy. How to compete with the biggest names, the Americans, the Russians, the French, and come out on top. A plucky jet becomes a global contender, sought after for performance and practicality. The story of the Gripen begins back in the Cold War, an earlier Saab fighter being refueled on a rural Swedish road. Sweden, wedged between the NATO powers in the west and the Soviet bloc in the east. Sweden was officially neutral, but being neutral doesn't mean being defenseless. In fact, it means the exact opposite. You have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, because you can't guarantee anyone will come to your rescue. The Swedes knew if a conflict broke out, they'd be caught in the middle. Their plan wasn't to take over the world, it was to make invading their country a painful, costly, and difficult headache. To do that, they needed a very specific kind of fighter jet. It couldn't just be good, it had to be perfectly suited to Sweden's unique defense needs. They needed a jet that could operate from anywhere, not just from pristine, well-maintained air bases, but from short, damaged runways, or even reinforced sections of public roads out in the middle of a forest. It had to be easy to maintain, not by an army of highly specialized technicians, but by a small team of conscripts with basic training, using simple tools. And crucially, it had to be affordable. This led to the Gripen's core design philosophy: balanced, adaptable, and crucially, it had to be affordable. Saab didn't try to make it the fastest, the highest flying, or the one that could carry the most bombs. Instead, they focused on making it the smartest. They designed a lightweight, single-engine jet, with a distinctive delta wing and canard configuration. This makes it incredibly agile and gives it fantastic short takeoff and landing performance. The whole system was built to be user-friendly, from the cockpit layout to the maintenance procedures, ensuring a rapid turnaround time on the ground. Of course, when the Gripen first appeared, there was a fair bit of skepticism. The big players looked at this little jet from Sweden and wondered if it could compete. It was smaller, had only one engine, and seemed on paper less powerful than its rivals. But the Swedes knew what they were doing. They focused on what really matters in modern air combat: information, flexibility, and the ability to be in the right place at the right time. As international interest started to grow, the world realized the Gripen wasn't just a quirky project. It was a serious contender. A plucky jet becomes a global contender, sought after for performance and practicality. It's one thing to look good on a brochure, but it's another thing entirely to prove your worth when flying alongside the best of the best. The Gripen's export journey began in Central Europe, with countries that had just emerged from behind the Iron Curtain and were looking to modernize their air forces and align with the West. The Czech Republic was among the first to see the Gripen's potential. Hungary was among the first to see the Gripen's potential. They were joining NATO and needed jets that were not only capable but also fully compatible with NATO systems and procedures, something the Gripen was designed to be from the start. Why did they choose the Gripen over more established American or European alternatives? Cost was a massive factor. For these newly developed economies, buying a fleet of hugely expensive F-16s Eurofighter Typhoons was simply not feasible. The Gripen offered a brilliant bang for your buck. It delivered top-tier performance and advanced technology at a fraction of the acquisition and operational costs of its competitors. Sweden offered attractive lease-to-buy agreements, making the financial side much easier to manage for these governments. It was the sensible, pragmatic choice. But it wasn't just about the money. The Gripen offered performance perfectly suited to their needs. They didn't need a heavy, long-range bomber. They needed a nimble and effective air defense fighter to police their skies and support NATO. Low maintenance requirements were another huge selling point. The ability to keep the jets flying with fewer ground crew and less complex support infrastructure meant lower long-term costs and higher aircraft availability. It was a complete package that made perfect sense for them. The Gripen's success wasn't limited to Europe. In Southeast Asia, the Royal Thai Air Force was also looking for a new fighter to replace its aging fleet of American F-5s. They faced a similar set of challenges: a need for advanced capabilities, limited budgets, and a desire for a solution that offered more than just an aircraft. Again, the Gripen came out on top. Sweden offered Thailand jets and Saab's Ariane airborne early warning and control aircraft, creating a complete and integrated air defense network. This holistic approach sealed the deal and brought the Gripen to a whole new continent. The Gripen has had numerous opportunities to do just that in major international exercises like Red Flag in the United States. These are the ultimate playgrounds for air forces where pilots and machines are pushed to their absolute limits. Just when the world was getting used to the cleverness of the original Gripen C and D, Saab decided to, well, turn things up to 11. They unveiled the next generation, the Gripen E and F. This wasn't just a minor upgrade, you know, it was a fundamental redesign of the aircraft, taking the proven Gripen concept and packing it with the very latest technology. While it looks similar to its predecessor, the Gripen E is really a whole new beast. It has a more powerful engine, a stronger airframe, can carry more fuel and a heavier payload, and get this, it's been completely rewired with a revolutionary new avionics system. The heart of the Gripen E's advancement lies in its sensors and electronics. It features a new active electronically scanned array radar, which is, honestly, a massive leap forward in detection and tracking capabilities. It also boasts a unique infrared search and track system that can spot enemy aircraft by their heat signature, without giving away its own position by using its radar. And its electronic warfare suite is said to be one of the most sophisticated in the world, capable of jamming and deceiving even the most advanced enemy defenses. It's a technological marvel. One of the biggest endorsements for this new generation came from a rather unexpected place: Brazil. The Brazilian Air Force ran a long and fiercely competitive selection process, pitting the Gripen E against the American FA-18 Super Hornet and the French Rafale. In the end, the Gripen won. The reasons were familiar: lower operational costs and impressive capabilities, but there was another crucial element to the deal: technology transfer. Sweden didn't just agree to sell Brazil the jets, they agreed to teach Brazil how to build them. This deal was a game changer. It involved setting up a production line in Brazil, with Brazilian engineers and technicians working alongside their Swedish counterparts at every stage of the process, from manufacturing components to final assembly. This meant that Brazil wasn't just buying a product, it was acquiring the knowledge, skills, and industrial capacity to develop its own aerospace industry for the future. This partnership approach, where the customer becomes a partner, has become a hallmark of the Gripen program, and, honestly, a massive selling point against competitors who are often more restrictive with their technology. The Gripen story of global expansion is far from over. With the success of the Gripen C and D and the advanced capabilities of the new Gripen E and F, the little Swedish fighter is now, on the shopping list of numerous countries around the globe. The international fighter market is honestly incredibly competitive. A brutal arena where national politics, industrial benefits, and military strategy all collide. The Gripen has to contend with heavyweights like the American F-35. In the old days, the best fighter was often the one that could fly the fastest or turn the tightest. Today, air combat is a different game altogether. It's a battle of information. The winner isn't necessarily the pilot with the most powerful engine, but the one who can see, understand, and act faster than their opponent. This is the core of the Gripen's smart fighter philosophy. The jet was designed from the ground up not just as a flying machine, but as a node in a vast, interconnected network, where sharing information is just as important as firing a missile. At the heart of this philosophy is the Gripen's advanced data link. Think of it as a super secure, high-speed internet connection between all the friendly forces in the area, other Gripens, ground control, airborne warning aircraft, forces on the ground or at sea. This data link allows a single Gripen to see a tactical picture that is far bigger than what its own sensors can detect. If one jet in a formation of 4 spots a threat with its radar, all 4 pilots instantly see it on their displays, without anyone having to say a word over the radio. This creates incredible tactical flexibility. A Gripen can, for example, fly towards a target with its own radar switched off. As we look to the future of air combat, the world is changing faster than ever. We're seeing the rise of unmanned drones, the development of artificial intelligence, new concepts for how air forces will fight. In this rapidly evolving landscape, some might wonder where a piloted fighter jet like the Gripen fits in. The answer is, right at the center. The very qualities that made the Gripen successful in the first place, its adaptability, its advanced networking, its forward-thinking design, are exactly what will ensure its relevance for decades to come. The Gripen's open architecture avionics system is one of its greatest future-proofing assets. Think of it like a smartphone. When new apps or better software become available, you can simply download and install them. The Gripen is designed in the same way. As new weapons sensors communication systems are developed, they can be integrated into the jet through software updates rather than requiring a hugely expensive and time-consuming physical rebuild. This means the Gripen can constantly evolve to meet new threats and incorporate new technologies, keeping it at the cutting edge without breaking the bank. The smart fighter philosophy is also perfectly suited for a future that will involve manned-unmanned teaming. The Gripen E is already being positioned as a potential quarterback of the skies, a command and control hub for a swarm of autonomous drone wingmen.